Basically, it's a tournament where all the best players in the world from different countries and everything come in the same room and play the game that we all love.
I am Jace Belair.
And I am Stoneforge Mystic.
It's just a really amazing game.
It's just mind-boggling to even think about.
I guess the rest is history.
In Nashville, Tennessee, players draft their way to the top of the Grand Prix. We asked 3 players to give us their best strategies from the new limited metagame.
I think the most underrated card in Dark Ascension is like Faithless Looting. If you have like a big gap between your worst cards and your best cards, you actually don't mind losing a little bit of card advantage because like the quality of the cards basically gets better if you can reach your better cards more often. So I think overall, Faithless Looting is quite underrated. You actually end up getting them if you want. That being said, it's not like it's amazing. It's better than people think it is.
Off the top of my head, I would say Clinging Mist. It's a 3-mana fog, which is, not very good normally. It's, only average, but it has Faithful Hour, and your opponent's creatures don't untap during next untap step. So you can really set up a game where you're damage racing and go to exactly 5 or something, and then win the game from there pretty much. So I think Clinging Mist is pretty good.
I actually think it's the Wolf Hunter's Quiver. I think that card's really powerful. I actually just won my last match with it. Granted, of course, it's in my main deck and I played against werewolves, so take that however you want. It's definitely skewed, but I actually think the card is powerful even not against the werewolf archetype. Red-green is a very popular archetype. The blue-white, that puts a lot of spirits into play, that's a very powerful archetype, and you just can start machine gunning their guys away. There's also some synergies with the card that are just unbeatable. If you put it on a death touch creature, it's like really hard for them to stick anything. I mean, you just axe whatever creature they play.
For this current draft set, I think the best colors to draft is probably blue-white. You could draft, really aggressive decks with flyers, and then you have Griptide and Grasp, which are like 2 cards that were, pretty much an old school card called Repel, not Repeal, Repel, which was 4 mana, put a creature on top of the library. So that's like really good for tempo. You have Silent Departure, and you have a card like Saving Grasp, which is good only in blue-white. So I really like to draft blue-white in the format.
It's really hard to say which color overall, because I think some combinations got better and worse. Green-white got worse. Like red-green got a lot better, red-black got a little better, blue-black got a lot better, but a lot of the funkier decks like the self-mill decks or the mill your opponent decks got a lot worse. A lot more of the creature decks got better.
The main difference from Triple Innistrad to Dark Ascension and 2 Innistrad is probably no one really drafts like the self-mill deck. That was a deck that was popular. People would get like Spider Spawnings and Runic Reputations, and now the format kind of changed. There's no straight-up combo deck. When there's 3 of one set, you can get multiple of one card. You get multiple of the Iron Scabs. You can get multiple mulches, and but now you kind of have to weigh your options and just try to draft a regular deck.
I know a lot of people are down on drafting like the blue-green Spiders deck, the Mill Yourself archetype, and it's like that's still a very good deck. But I mean, it's hard to justify forcing it when you have a whole less pack of the Spider Spawnings, the Runic Reputations, the Memories Journeys, the Knot of the Bone, just the cards that the deck doesn't work without. So even though I think those decks definitely still exist, they're harder to justify drafting.
M12, for example, your opponent plays like a huge bomb and you don't have a removal for it, you lose. That's why when I was playing with like M12 or M11, I would always want to draft like Ponders and Merfolk Looters just to kind of, like sift through my deck or whatever you want to call it. But here it's like you have Flashback, so I think Flashback is slightly better than just Merfolk Looter and Ponder and stuff.
I think it reminds me of Zendikar and Zendikar block draft a lot. It's very aggressive, but I like that you're more incentivized to block. In Zendikar, you were decentivized to block because you couldn't profitably trade with landfall creatures due to the obvious reasons you can't play a land on your opponent's turn, so your creatures don't get the benefits when theirs do. And that's really problematic. It made for games where you just play a land, attack, and you're just like trading 2, 3, maybe 5 damage in combat, and you can't really block without just chump blocking. There was no combat like trading really. And I feel like this format takes good things from Zendikar being like aggressive, you have to have a well-tuned curve, and it eliminates some of the problems like being too fast and not really a whole lot of creature combat.
Do you know what? I actually I think Dark Ascension Innistrad is worse than Triple Innistrad, just from a fun perspective. I like new formats, so I'm not saying it's that much worse. I'm probably overstating it. Every draft is a little bit different, and I think Dark Ascension does change it up a little bit, and that's nice. Yeah.